Hello internet, welcome to Lex Universe. Welcome to my next video. As you can see, I'm still in quarantine, but this time I chose to wear blue because I read somewhere that blue makes people actually calm. So I don't want to create panic or something. So Emirates just announced that they will be cancelling all passenger flights beginning with the 25th of March. So I've decided that I will make this general video about the travel restrictions that have been caused by the coronavirus outbreak and the world pandemic. So if that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned and let's do it. So before I will start talking about the travel restrictions themselves, I would like to shout out for one hashtag that has been quite popular for the last few days, and it's #StayAtHome. And that's basically my general message that I want to share with you. As you can see, I'm still at home, I'm still in the quarantine here in Prague. And this should be the case of all of us. If we want to get rid of this stupid virus as soon as possible, we all need to participate in that. And the best way we can do it is to just stay at home and to avoid any kind of physical contact with other people for quite some time. So basically all we have to do to save the world is to just stay at home, watch TV, watch my videos. They're kind of good and there's quite a lot of them, so it can take you some time. Anyway, since you're already staying at home, but if you're not really a fan of reading but you still like books, you can head out to Audible. You can use the link in my description, and if you click on it and make a registration, you will have 1 free month, and you can download any audiobook for free, and then you can cancel the subscription, so everything is just for free. Just check it out down there. Another thing that I would like to tell you before we get to the traveling itself is wear the mask or something to cover your nose and your mouth, because although it will not probably help you in catching this virus, it can still help other people because you will not be spitting your viruses on them. It's quite helpful, but it really doesn't help that much, so preferably stay at home unless you necessarily need to get outside. And now let's talk about travel restrictions. As you can see on this picture, there are still quite a lot of planes in the sky, and the reason for that is, well, there are many reasons for that. First of all, many countries still haven't restricted traveling till this day. There are not too many of them, but there are some, so that's some passenger planes still. Then a lot of these planes are cargo, and they're transferring mostly medical material. And then there are these things called repatriation flights, which are basically mandated by the government and the cooperation with major airlines. These are designed to fly to certain destinations and bring their people home. If you are stuck somewhere and you want to get home, definitely check the websites of your foreign ministry to see what your possibilities are. Many countries are actually sending these flights, and some airlines even offered their passengers free flights back to their home country, so that's kind of cool, and definitely check it out. But of course, if you are at home, then stay at home. You will not be probably able to fly anywhere anyway. So as you could see, many of the airlines, the major airlines in the world, like KLM, Air France, Emirates, in Qatar, and they're actually cancelling most of their flights, and they are not available for public right now. So at the moment, any kind of public air transportation in the world is basically non-existent, and it will stay that way for some time. Along with that, here comes my big plea, but on the other hand also like advice how to be a decent human being. If you are stuck somewhere and the government is actually sending this plane for you and other people there, don't be a jerk. Like our foreign minister actually had many cases where someone wanted to stay in Egypt for like 2 more days because it was sunny. Come on guys, this is a crisis, don't be jerks. Because these people are actually doing all they can to get you home. And like this general advice, not being jerk, is actually also valid for the rest of us. If you had some flights ahead that got cancelled, or you believe they will be cancelled, many of the airlines have actually changed their policy on changing the date of your departure and arrival. and also many of them offered you free cancellation. So here's one thing that I wanted to point out. I believe it's fair to say that if you do not intend to fly, then yeah, ask for your money back. But if you do and you don't need the money right now at this moment, just cancel the flight or postpone it, or if they offer you some kind of voucher, take that, because you will be able to use it in half a year or so, and it will not cost the airlines money right now, because right now you have to understand that they have such great expenses at the moment and they have absolutely zero income, because even though there are some of these flights, like the public transportation, any kind of airline market is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. They do not have any income right now. So let's all do our little bit share on saving these airlines, because when this crisis is over, we will probably want to fly again. So let's hope that these airlines will still be there. And also, again, don't be jerks. When you're calling to these customer services for these airlines or other agencies that provide you with flight tickets, and you want to cancel them or you want to postpone them or whatever, just really, can you imagine how many people they have to deal with at this moment? Just be patient, don't be jerks. They will for sure get back to you, and you will get your money back if you really need it. But being a jerk to these people who are on the phone for like 20 hours a day and they're just responding to one angry passenger after another, it's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. It just happened. So let's all help each other somehow. And if you have nothing else to provide, then at least don't be jerks. It's really helpful. Like I said, many of the air routes have been cancelled or temporarily stopped, but there are still some that do operate. But even if it's still possible, you have to understand that in many countries, hotels, Airbnbs, even taxis are temporarily banned. There is, in many cases, no public transportation. They have sometimes even a full quarantine, so you cannot even go outside on the street. And even if you do, most of these countries have already closed all their landmarks, all their museums, basically any kind of public place. So it's really not worth going anywhere. I mean, what would you find there? Okay, that would be about current situation, which is the 22nd of March. I'm sure it will completely change in like 3 days when this goes public, but anyway, now what is the prognosis for the future? Well, the honest answer to this is actually we don't know. There are many optimistic predictions that this will last a few weeks, and many people want to believe this, but I'm not sure how realistic that is. First of all, the spread of this pandemic is different in many parts of the world. So, for example, right now it's already decreasing in China and Southeast Asia. But if you want to fly from there somewhere else, then it's still like in its peak, and it's done. So it's really difficult to predict how it will behave, and we still don't know what will happen in Africa when it spreads there. So right now it's very difficult to predict, but the more realistic prediction is that the public international transportation will be affected for a few months. Well, it's still possible that many of these draconic measures in many states, like quarantine or closed bars, something, will get cancelled much sooner. When it comes to the international travel, I believe that will follow in a few months, and it will start very slowly. There will still be some red zones where you will not be able to fly. So deciding right now where you will fly in summer, I think it will be possible to fly somewhere without many consequences, but it's really difficult to say where or how it will be at that moment. So unless you are a really hazardous player, don't plan any holidays just yet, because right now we're still in the beginning of this outbreak, and there's really very hard to say. It could be a few weeks, it could be a few months, unfortunately, and we will just have to deal with it somehow. So that wasn't really optimistic, was it? What I wanted to say is the predictions could be various, and the important thing is to have a hope, because there have been many crises in the history of mankind, and we have always overcome them. As I'm sure many of you remember the 9/11 attacks, and after that the drop in the international flight travel was very significant, but in a few months it just got back in track and it started expanding again to the point where it was in the beginning of this crisis. And I believe today the drop may be quite significant, but it will continue, and when that moment comes, it's kind of good that you will have this one spare flight ticket for you, and you can just head out anywhere you want. And I think that's a good thing to look forward to, because right now it looks like we are in some deep shithole, but we're actually in a tunnel, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and let's move forward together. So I hope I didn't get you all depressed at the moment, and let's look forward to our future. And if you enjoyed this video, or at least if you found it interesting, then give me a like below, comment, share your thoughts. I'm really interested how you feel about this crisis and what you think about it. And don't forget to check the Audible link, it can really help you with your quarantine. And yeah, see you in the next video, because I'm not going anywhere and we go on.